Giving an update on the bomb threat at Penrose Hospital. First one to start out and saying that we have checked and there are no live devices here. We received a call from Penrose Hospital this morning. They had received information of a bomb threat at their facility. They did initial checks and located what they believed were suspicious devices. Following plans that are already in place, they contacted the police department, which initiated a response by the police department and the fire department. Part of the police response was our EOD unit, commonly known as our bomb unit, responded as well. Set up perimeters. The hospital proactively, in mindfulness for the safety of the people here, went on lockdown. The EOD unit has checked all of the devices that were of concern, and they are all now innocuous. One of them was originally reported was a crockpot. Most people are aware of the concerns with that specific kitchen utensil in regards to potential bombs. That has been checked. It is just simply a crockpot. So at this point, they're finishing checking the entire parking garage. They've checked the areas of the hospital that were any concern or had any question at all. All of those have checked clear. I believe we should be leaving here shortly. I would like to say that plans are already in place and practiced between the hospital, police department, and fire department to ensure that the emergency room doesn't close during incidents like this. So although roads were blocked, there were officers present along with fire department that would be able to escort anybody into the emergency room that needed emergency services during this incident. That is still active and will be until all officers have cleared the roadways. What questions do you guys have?
So was just the one building evacuated and this one was on lockdown?
That's correct. The parking garage was evacuated. The hospital was on lockdown.
How was this called in?
How was it called in? I believe it came in through the emergency line, but I'll let Caitlin Ford in our PIO's office confirm that.
How long did it take to be dispatched out here, like response time?
I don't have times. From the time that we found out about it, I oversee the bomb unit. It was an emergency response for us. So 200 some odd square miles, just general traffic, driving, lights and sirens would be an emergency response for us. So when we became aware of potential devices, it was an emergency response.
So it's definitely more than one device that you see?
It originally came in as potentially two devices, the crockpot that I mentioned, and another suspicious device they said. Turns out that it was just something left on a windowsill in the parking garage. I believe it was privately owned, what I call OC canister, pepper spray. I don't know the trademark name of it, but just a simple thing like that. Had a button on it that looked suspicious, and just as we tell everybody, please don't touch it, call us and let us use the appropriate equipment to determine if it is or isn't. That was also determined to not be an explosive device.
Can you tell us a little bit more about the nature of why they thought this was a credible threat? Was it someone seeing it in the parking lot, or was it a patient?
They got a report that there were going to be bombs at the facility. They did their sweeps. They identified those two items, and they proactively, the hospital being they, proactively went on lockdown, did the emergency contacts with us. So they did everything that we would hope. They became aware of something and immediately started checking to see if they found anything. When they did find something they weren't sure about, that's where we were able to come and be involved.
And I'm assuming that's security here at the hospital?
I believe it is security, yes.
Has the suspect been identified or taken into custody?
The investigation is ongoing at this point in time, but we are not looking for anybody. We have contacted everybody that we believe has any information in reporting this and the subsequent investigation.
So there's a chance that there wasn't any malicious intent with this? It was just a misunderstanding, a possibility that it was just a misunderstanding?
It was not a possibility that it was a misunderstanding by the hospital. The information was clear in regards to that. Whether it was criminal, that's what the investigation will be determining.
Was it a crock pot or a pressure cooker?
I've been told it was a crockpot, but I would say that those are oftentimes used one for the other with people.
And based upon you talking about getting the calls get sent to the hospital, do you feel like these devices were planted as a scare or what?
No, I do not believe they were intentionally placed where they were. One of them was in a car, which medical staff work long shifts, so leaving something in your car would be very reasonable. Obviously, that person did not anticipate that somebody would be reporting a bomb threat today. So it's just abundance of caution, which again, I can't stress this enough. The bomb unit, we all support very much calling in on that. Let us go out and determine if it is or it isn't. We have all of the equipment. To determine that and determine it safely. The priority when there's a bomb threat is the safety of the public first. Then we can work on determining if it is or is not a bomb. And if it is, then we can work on determining how do we safely take care of that with our focus always being on the safety of the public. So for our community, whether you come to this hospital or not, all of our hospitals, we have these set up. We have these plans in place. We've talked about them. We've practiced them. And what the community saw today was just enacting those plans. And it couldn't ask for, if we have to come out for a bomb threat, a better solution or resolution, I should say, in that it wasn't actually a bomb.
I see a few people going there. Is the lockdown officially lifted now?
I don't know about that, but it will likely be coming shortly if it hasn't already happened.
And so to clarify, was it an employee's vehicle?
That the crockpot was in, yes, but that employee was not related to the actual threat in any way.
Okay. And then we're hearing that there will maybe, there's another threat to a hospital in the Denver area today. Is CSPD tracking threats to other hospitals in our area?
No other threats to hospitals in our area. I am aware of what is going on in Denver generally, that there was a threat. As part of this, I would be remiss if I didn't mention that immediately our federal partners stepped up. FBI, ATF were actively involved from the very beginning in this, and they would be the probably better ones to answer that, or the actual Denver location of what they found. But I am aware that there was some type of incident up in Denver with a threat. I don't know if there was anything actually there.
Is it just a standard operating procedure to have ATF come out in situations like this, or was there some elevated concern that made that call go out?
Yes and no, and that's not really a clear answer, I understand. So yes, we work with ATF and FBI regularly if we believe there's an actual device. So when we are being told that there is the potential device located, then yes, it would be very standard for us to start reaching out and working with them. The initial response of there is a threat is going to be the police department bomb squad unit. So that's why I say yes and no, is that it needs to reach a certain threshold, and then we are very commonly working with them. But yes, we work with ATF and FBI regularly on bomb threats and that type of incident.
Was the FBI here too?
I don't believe they were actually physically present, but there were communications and conversations occurring from the very beginning.
I know I already kind of asked this, but just to make sure that it's worked there. So there's no one currently believed that to be criminally charged in this right now?
I can't say that. What I can say is that we're not looking for anyone. We have contacted everybody that we believe is involved in the bomb threat. The criminal investigation will determine if anything happened today that is of a criminal nature.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Does that answer your question?
It does.
Okay.
So there's no one in custody currently?
There is not anybody in custody currently.
Got it.
Any other questions? All right, thank you guys very much.